Hi guys, Christina here from One Creative Direction. I'm back. I was gonna do some quick sanding on some of my tiles in between coats of Brite Tone, and I thought, why not just do a quick video to show you how easy it is to do this process. So this is probably gonna be a real quick video, and please don't judge how dirty my sink is, but it is a good opportunity to kind of tell you how much of an advantage it is using this Brite Tone over epoxy. For those of you who did or currently use epoxy, I can't even list how many different things I have ruined in my house and in my garage from using epoxy. My sink in the kitchen being one of them. There are big chunks of it in there. Don't ask me how it got in there, probably from washing it off my gloves, hands, etc. So anyway, I digress. So very easy process, like I think I've mentioned in one of my previous videos. So this is one of my tiles that I've painted, kind of neat one. I think I have like 3 coats on here, so you can see just how shiny the crystal-lac is. Sometimes it's really hard to capture that, but I think in this light you can get a pretty good idea of how shiny it is. So that's after just a couple of coats. I feel like you get sometimes a better shine if you put a couple coats on, do a real light sand, and then put a couple more coats on. I just feel like you get a better shine, but it's all about personal preference. I know the nicer the shine, the better it looks. So I'm gonna do a light sand on almost everything I have. So I'm gonna show you just how easy it is. One thing you wanna remember is don't use sandpaper and don't apply a lot of pressure. So if you can remember those 2 things right off the bat, you're good to go. So I use these sanding sponges. I got a whole box of them. These are $2.20. I know some people, for their tumblers, when they use Brite Tone, they use $4.20. I didn't really see much of a difference. I mean, you can barely even, there's hardly any scratching surface on here at all. So you're literally just barely grazing the surface with this. So I don't even do the sides. I only do the top surface, and I just start and just barely graze it. So because this crystal-lac Brite Tone is only a very thin layer, it's not like epoxy where it's somewhat thick, you're just barely grazing the surface because you don't want to get down to the paint. You just want to barely graze it. So I just kind of move in a very small circular motion, so I can just kind of, if there was any tiny little air bubbles, you're getting those, and just kind of go over the whole top of the surface. And just kind of check that out, make sure you've got the whole top, you're not missing anything. So you can kind of see it took a little bit of the glaze off, so you've got a little bit of a scratchy surface there. Just be careful on your corners, your edges. You want to be careful because those are your most vulnerable. And I learned this by doing tumblers when you're doing like the edges and stuff, because sometimes those don't get as much coverage as if you're doing a flat surface. Although I do try to concentrate on those areas. You want to make sure when you're sanding those areas, sometimes you might take off more than just the Brite Tone or the epoxy, if that's what you're using, and expose the paint. So that's about how much I do. Not a whole lot. Like I said, super easy. Don't even have to apply hardly any elbow grease, as we used to call it. See this very small spot there. I want to do a little bit more. And that's it. All you do, rinse it with water. I usually just kind of rub it all off with my hand, shake it dry, let it air dry. And that is the complete process. That's it. Now, there was one other thing. I think I mentioned in one of my other videos that I like to add a little bit of glitter. And I don't know if you can tell, but this one's I added some glitter to it. So if that's something that you think you might want to do, I think I added to that one, a few others. Those you want to make sure, because you put on such light coats of the Brite Tone, you're gonna feel the glitter on the surface. So it may take a few more layers of the Brite Tone. And the only glitter I use on these coasters, especially since it's a flat surface, same thing on the tumblers. A lot of people use the big chunky glitter, and you have to like really smush it down on the tumblers. So it gets flat and you're not like, it's not like poking out of the epoxy. But like for these, I use like an extra fine glitter. You can still feel it because your layers are so thin. So when you sand, you want to be extra careful, right? That you're not like using so much pressure that you're sanding off your glitter as well. So again, you're just using a super, super light pressure and just grazing over the top. And I always like stop and make sure. You should still be able to fill your glitter, but have a little bit of a dullness to the top of your tile. The great thing about these sponges is you can use them wet or dry. You can wash them, use them over again. They're great. So I'm looking for just some consistency across this. You don't want to get down too far that you're like sanding off the glitter and all your Brite Tone. So I think I'm going to go with that, and hopefully that works out. It's just one thing to keep in mind if you're going to add glitter to these, which I don't add it to very many of them, just some of them I think I want to add a little extra pizzazz. I have 4 of these really cool red and gold ones that turned out really cool. So I added it to those. Probably should have left them plain, but anyway, so that's the simple process. Please let me know if you have any questions, and as always, I appreciate anybody who can please subscribe to my channel. Please share it with your friends to subscribe. I really want to get up to enough followers so I can go live. YouTube has restrictions. You have to have so many subscribers in order to go live, and I have lots and lots of plans for videos that I want to do. I would really like to go live. I do have a Facebook business page, and I'd rather not to go live there. I'd rather do it on YouTube. So if you could like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Please share it with anybody that you think might be interested. I also have some plans for some Cricut videos. If anybody has a Cricut or is interested in getting a Cricut, I saw some people on some of the pages I'm on kind of mention, you know, that they want a Cricut. I've had one for a little over a year now. I do quite a bit. I make decals for friends. I've made all kinds of things. If you checked out my Facebook business page, you can see a few of the things I've made. Quite honestly, I just haven't had enough time to go and update my page there with a lot of the stuff that I've made, but I make a lot of stuff with my Cricut. I made all my Christmas cards with my Cricut, so I have plans for a lot of videos for both painting and any kind of Cricut projects, and I have some ideas for kind of a combination of both of them, how to kind of incorporate both of those. One of the videos that I'm going to be working on hopefully this weekend is how to prep your tiles before you paint them, prepping them for pour painting, and then also if anybody's interested in personalizing these. So there's a couple of different ways. So you can sell them just after you paint them, just coat them and sell them that way. A lot of people put cork on the back and sell them as coasters. So I made some personalized coasters for my brothers, and I put some water slide on them. So I want to show you how you can either apply that to like a poured tile or to just a regular tile, and show you how to prep that for water slide and how you can personalize that. So I have some videos planned for that. So if you're interested in that, like I said, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss those videos. As always, have a blessed day.